What is up, everybody? It is Monday, November 11th, the start of a new week, and we ended up taking two trades. Let's take a look at this. First one was a loss, and the second one ended up winning and making the loss back plus more. So let's get into why we took two attempts at a short today. So lately, price has been completely bullish, right? We had that target of new all-time highs, and we got exactly that. But if you look at the price action here on the 4-hour time frame, we have been consistently respecting bullish order flow. We have a 4-hour fair value gap right here. We have another one right here, and you can see price taps back into this one and bounces right out of that. Now, Friday, I actually took a loss. I was trying to fight this trend thinking, hey, we have to retrace at some point. But you know what? I don't know why I did that, because I'm so far into my trading career now that I know that just because price is continuously bullish, that I shouldn't be shorting every new high, okay? Because that's not going to happen. Out of the 50 attempts you do, maybe the 51st will be the one that'll finally hit. And by that point, you're going to be so deep red, it won't even matter. So always be weary about shorting at all-time highs. Only do that when you have strong confirmation, like we did today, that we are going to continue selling off, and then have a good area as the draw on liquidity. As you can see, right, we tapped right into this, exactly where I thought it was going to go to, and then it bounced right out of that. So here in the 4-hour time frame, I couldn't really find anything that would consist of something to be able to hold price up, to continue going higher, okay? So I dropped down to the 1 hour, and on the 1 hour, if you notice, we have a bullish imbalance right here. All right, and in this bullish imbalance, we had price action just hovering above it, constantly tapping into it before moving on higher, taking out this high right here from the London session, and also creating a new all-time high, and then rejecting off of that. So once the market opened up, and I believe the candlestick was around here, I decided to say, hey, if we get a 1 hour close below that imbalance, then we are bearish, because right here is the only imbalance that we have that could hold price up. Below that, there's nothing. This is what I would consider low resistance liquidity, because there's really nothing in its way for it to not grab that. And as you can see, right, that 1 hour candle right there took out all of these sell stops that were clearly sitting down here. Now, my target was this swing low, and I figured that would be the case because if you notice here, we had accumulation, then we had a very strong manipulation above the high, so I figured we're going to distribute lower to try to target that low. That was a very steep swing low that was created. Pretty obvious that we were wanting to go lower. And so that was the case, right? I wanted to wait for 10 o'clock. As you guys know, I always wait for 10 now to get that further confirmation to understand what is this last bit of information. What is this 9 to 10 o'clock candle and the 6 a.m. to 10 o'clock candle? What are they telling me? Because more often than not, it'll give us the direction for the day. It'll give us a good indication of where price will go next. Okay, so after 10 o'clock, I was only looking for short setups. So let's go down to the 1 minute time frame. Okay, so on here, after 10 o'clock, you know what my entry model always is I want to make sure that overall the time frames align. The 4 hour was bullish. Let's face it, it's still bullish, okay? The 1 hour turned bearish for me in terms of its order flow. The 15 minute, let's take a look at the 15 minute. Sorry, let's go up to the 15 minute. 15 minute, obviously, we have a sweep, a break of structure, right? We got a very strong displacement. We also got a 15 minute fair value gap that gets created. 15 minutes also bearish. So now I want to make sure that the 1 hour, the 15 minute, and the 1 minute are all bearish. Now, how do I determine that? Of course, as you guys always know from all my videos, I want to see a bullish imbalance get invalidated. And once that happens, I market order in, because that means that bullish imbalances are no longer going to act as support, but rather resistance. So we do get one here, a 1 minute imbalance. Price drops below that. Very strong displacement candle down. So I market order in at the next candle open, and then I put my stop above these swing highs. My target is that draw on liquidity, which gave me a nice 1 to 2 risk to reward. I did take it, but I'll tell you why I shouldn't have taken it. I've mentioned it in previous videos where if there are two fair value gaps like this, stacked, right? This one is the one that is in discount. And this is the one that will have the higher probability of holding price up. And we don't want that to happen, right? Because we don't want price to be held up. This one has a high probability of being invalidated. I should not have looked at this one. This one is the key fair value gap that should have been my turning point to say, hey, I'm gonna get in, because it's in discount. It has a high probability that this will be more support rather than this one. If I waited for this one to get invalidated, then I wouldn't have taken this trade and I would have saved myself the loss. But it just looked so good to me. I figured that if we were down here, the risk to reward wasn't going to be there. I had a flawed mindset, okay? I had a flawed mindset on that. I had that loss on Friday that I was trying to make back, and I just wanted the win. And it happens. It's okay, right? As long as I have appropriate risk. And so I risked, a good amount that my accounts can handle, and unfortunately, I got stopped out on that one. We held this 1 minute right there. We also held that 1 minute right there. So overall, it just gave us that bullishness still on the 1 minute time frame. So there was really no reason to go short just yet. So I figured at that point, okay, price wants to retrace back into that 15-minute fair value gap, as you can see in the blue shaded rectangle right there. And then once the order flow here turns bearish, then I will market order in and I will target that draw on liquidity. So as you can see, I was looking at this 1 minute bearish fair value gap. There was one right here, but remember, it has to be one that's closer to discount. This one still was obviously in premium, but I felt like it had a higher probability because of the fact that we tapped into a higher time frame fair value gap. We also were sweeping this high right there, and I don't usually look at order blocks, but we do have one right there where price taps into and we reject off of that. So I felt confident taking this one. I put my entry, I market ordered in. Once this candle was created, I put my stop above the high, and then price is looking pretty good and it starts to move back on up. So I'm getting upset thinking, geez, okay, we're gonna get stopped out. But then price then again displaces, starts respecting bearish order flow one more time, continues to move, and it creates what I mark out here as an FSH, which is a failure swing high, which shows weakness, okay? But we failed to make a new low. So then price starts to give kind of like a U-shaped recovery here. But again, another failure swing high. These failure swing highs, 1 and 2, are clues to price getting weaker. Although price does look like it's creating higher lows, but it's not creating higher highs. It has two consecutive lower highs. Then price starts to come on down, still failing to meet this low. But then once again, another failure swing high, respecting bearish fair value gaps. So still bearish order flow. And then price, I had price, I wanted to put my stop to break even once it tapped into this low, which it did, but I didn't move my stop to break even because at that point I was like, man, this is crazy. This price action is nuts. We have drops down, moves back up. I think price is going to be so manipulative right now that it's going to want to take out another high maybe before we continue going lower. So it was gruesome. I will admit, it was insanely gruesome seeing your position being so deep red to coming to break even, red, and then more red, and then back to break even, a little bit of profit. Oh, we're tapping back into red. You have no idea how badly I wanted to close it out at this level. But I said, you know what? I'm going to keep myself on the 15-minute time frame, the 5-minute time frame, to give my mind ease, because this 1 minute action is just breaking my mental capital. So I didn't want to do that. I wanted to just stay focused. I had a solid risk to reward. I had a pretty obvious draw on liquidity. So I kept myself on the 15-minute time frame. And gladly, I did hold for the majority of the move. I took pretty much all of it off at this swing low here. So you'll see the exit is right there. So slightly under. Just because I was like, you know what? I'm done with today. I can't believe that this was happening. And at this point, I was already in the green, very green for the day, very happily green. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take my gains. I'm going to lock it in and I'm going to call it a day because I was already in this trade for 2 hours. That was an hour and a half, way over than what I usually like. I like quick half-an-hour moves, but today's a bank holiday, so that was kind of my excuse as well to say, yeah, this is going to happen. It's going to be slow-moving action, etc., etc. But then once price did what it had to do, you know, it comes with aggression. When it really wants to hit a specific draw, you see, look at this. As soon as we broke that low of day, man, we just dropped so hard to that draw on liquidity. So it just feels good to see that, yeah, you were right. But it took a while. It took 2 hours. So hopefully you guys ended up green today. Very interesting price action for sure. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, please, you know, always feel free to reach out. If you guys are trying to learn more from me in my videos, keep watching all my videos. I am also starting up a mentorship / bootcamp next week. So if you are interested in that, signups are in the description below. So feel free to check that out. And I will catch you guys all tomorrow. Peace.